girlfriend. I sold my car for $75. I sold my car for $75. I was like, I don't need it. I'm like, I'm moving. I'm going to draw comics. I'm done with this. Is my whole life. So I gave it all up. I moved to San Diego. I joined the studio. That's where I was in the studio with Wills and Silvestri and Jim and Jeff Campbell and all these guys. And we're just sitting over at Wildstorm. Carlos and a couple of the guys, they came in. They actually brought in guys in rounds. They bring like 10 guys, and some guys would stay, sometimes leave, and then they bring in another 10 or so, something like that. Like about 2 years apart. And then that's why. And Carlos, and it was weird because Carlos and I went to college together, and when I was leaving college, he was going in. So he went through the whole couple years of college, and then after college, he followed the same path I did. And I didn't even know. I never met him until he came to Wildstorm, and we found out we went to the same school. It was kind of weird.
Thank you.
Right, so we know that Ryan's wonderful, and it was very easy for him. Carlos, what was it like showing your portfolio for the first time and getting feedback?
You know what? I also got kind of lucky. I've been drawing since I could hold a pencil, but I didn't know you could do something with it. I was like, I guess I'll be an architect or something that you draw with. And I always loved comic books, but I didn't know they were drawn by people. I thought they were just kind of came from an egg or some magical place. And it was actually Uncanny X-Men 275 by Jim Lee. But I was like, holy, like this, like it felt different, right? Like all of a sudden I was paying attention to the art, not just the characters. Like before it was, it's cool, it's Spider-Man, that's cool, or it's Archie or whoever, right? But now all of a sudden, here's Jim, and the best way that I can describe his comic books is that they felt like a high-budget movie, right? Like everything looked like expensive props, and like all the actors were handsome and pretty, and like it just looked like a Spielberg movie, right? And that's when it just clicked. It's like, I want to do this. Like somebody can make a living doing this. I want to do this. And I was probably like maybe like 14, and I was like, I want to start practicing this seriously. So then that's when I switched from drawing as a hobby to like drawing with a purpose. You got in what, like 94 into
Yes.
Wildstorm?
October.
On the back of one of the Wildstorm comics, there was a talent search. So, this is back in the old days of Xeroxes and waiting like 3 years to get a reply.
Yeah, pages.
Yeah, and I had no idea that I just sent like a ton of work. I was still drawing on like typing paper. I didn't know there were like, comic book boards. I was just drawing on typing paper, and I drew a bunch of stuff that I'm pretty sure they never paid attention to, because if you get a heavy package, you're not opening it, right? You want to get something sweet and fast, and that gives you an idea of what the artist does. I was like, I'm gonna send watercolors and a million things, and a good friend of mine had the idea. It's like, you know what, you should go to art school just in case. Believe it or not, at the time, and probably still today, comics are a weird thing. Kevin was talking about that for Kevin, it was easier for him to get into Hollywood to write movies than to get into comics to write comics. At the time, it was easier to get into the NBA than it was to get into comics. So it was like a pipe dream. So a friend was like, you should go to art school, just in case, to have a backup. And he ended up being the same art school that this guy went to.
Which school?
It was called, I don't even know if it's there anymore, it was called International Fine Arts College. And I remember on the main lobby, they had a bunch of work by the previous artist, and there was an airbrush by Ryan there. And it was kind of like, oh, this guy made it to Wildstorm, ooh. Because at the time, Wildstorm was like getting to go and work for a company that had Steven Spielberg and James, like getting to go work for a studio that had like James Cameron and Spielberg all rolled into one. It was like all the top guys were there. So I sent my first submission, never heard back. Sent a second submission like 6 months after that. A good friend of ours, a mutual friend, was like, oh no, you have to draw it on this kind of paper, and there's like specs, right? So then I did my second one, and I don't think I heard anything yet. And then my third one, I sent it at the time. The three main studios were Extreme, Top Cow, and Wildstorm. And so I sent my third one in. This is about a year into it. And I got a rejection letter from Extreme, and I was so bummed. No, that's a lie, actually. I got a rejection letter from, I think, Top Cow. And then a friend of mine, maybe in a really bad mood, calls me and tells me that he's Jim Lee, and I'm all excited, and inside of me, he just starts cracking up. Luciano, you remember Luciano? About a day later, the real Jim Lee calls me. I tell him to F off. Because I thought he was my friend. But he's like, no, this is Jim Lee. And I was like, so that's how it started. So I like from the time that I started to practice like really serious, it was about a year of sending submissions like every 6 months, and then by the third one I got a call, and then been there ever since.
It's great. I want to ask Willis this too, because you're the only artist here who broke into Marvel,
Yeah.
kind of in the heyday of the 90s Marvel X era.
I've been very, very lucky in my life. When I was in the first grade, I had not only an art class, but an art teacher. And when I went into secondary, right, 7th and 8th, there was an art teacher waiting for me, because that teacher had talked to that teacher. And then when I went to high school, that teacher had spoken to the high school art teacher. By the time I got into a high school, because of what they taught me, by the time I was in my second year, my high school teacher said, I can't teach you anymore. He was connected to University of Hawaii, I was there at the time, and so he got me art classes on the weekend to go to there. So I've been very lucky in that, to not pay for 1 cent of training, but getting training and not knowing I was getting training. You know, I just love drawing. Then I'm a Navy brat. My dad retired, worked back to the Philippines, and came back over here, San Diego. I have it on here. Her son goes, hey, there's San Diego Con. I go, what's that? He goes, just bring your portfolio. I go there, and again, knock on wood, that year, 30 years ago, Marvel had sent every single editor to San Diego Con looking for people. And so I got snatched up into that. And this is how newbie I was. Again, I was just drawing. I wasn't even really thinking about comics. I get in, they go, you can draw pretty, but can you tell a story? And I go, what's a story? So again, lucky, the editor that I hooked up with, Carl Potts, the Punisher editor, the Epic editor. Usually what would happen is, okay, that's great, study storytelling and come back next year, because they gotta work, they don't have time. Carl was different. He was a mentor. Every 2 weeks he would call me, got anything? Got anything? A couple weeks later he sent me Xeroxes of the 5 C's of cinematography. Study this, study that, and he goes, okay, while you're studying, you want to earn some money? Looks like in your profile you can ink. So you want to ink? So Art Adams' first job, Long Shot. I inked that.
That was your first job?
Yeah, lucky. And then I got into the Punisher office. We started making that big, and so on and so on. But I had one little thing there. Take every opportunity you can, because the other part of the question, use all your social networks. We didn't have all that. The thing is to get out there, to get known. And this may be a little controversial, but I say if somebody then says, hey, I like your stuff, will you draw for me? I say, ask his publishing credentials. Make sure that he or she has published something and will publish the work that you do. I don't care about the rate. Why? Because if he pays you $1 and you're better than that, if that book gets published, another editor will see that and then offer you a job. This is a small community here. Now, if that editor offers you $50, but you're worth 200, another editor will see that after a couple more books and go, hey, if you got the talent, if you're worth it, you will get what you're worth. But if nobody sees your stuff, nobody, and even you, will know what you're really worth. So get
Damn.
that stuff out there. Real quickly, the way I was doing Punisher, the way I got the X-Men job, back then, FedEx, you draw your pages in San Diego, and you FedEx them to New York. Editor stands up here. You guys, assistant editor, you guys are looking at the back of the blank, the blank page, and I'm going, and the editor's going, oh wow, these are cool. So you as an assistant editor got to wait till your editor is finished before you can see what is cool. I knew that. On the back of the pages, while the editor's looking at the front Punisher pages, I draw Wolverine. They go, hey, this guy can do X-Men. Take any advantage you can, but the point is, show your stuff. If you believe in yourself, you've got the talent, you will get as far as you need to get. You'll get as far as your work.
And I'll add to that. So you guys, there's a guy named Peter Thiel, very successful investor in Silicon Valley, co-founder of PayPal. And he said one thing you have to do is when you hear extraordinary stories like this from guys that have been killing it for a long time, you actually have to be a little bit, you have to discount it because it was done in a time that isn't relevant to you. So right now you're living in a social media era. So as a publisher, I will tell you right now that I find the vast majority of my talent on Instagram, on ArtStation. I'm combing through it constantly. In fact, I've had the good fortune of collaborating with Kim Jong-gi, and that's exactly how I found him. I saw him on Instagram. This stuff was amazing, and I just DM'd him. And when you find people and DM them and connect with them, like you can actually book gigs that way. And so, to Wils's point about visibility, the good news is not only do you have the opportunity of potentially working with a publisher and being far more interested in whether they're actually going to publish your work or not, but you have the ability to get your work out all day, every day, to the entire world. So make sure that you're taking advantage of that and that you're taking the time to connect with people because speaking for myself, and I know a whole lot of other publishers and editors, we are scouring the digital world for talent daily. So make sure your work is there.
DeviantArt.
Yeah.
I look on DeviantArt all the time. I've hired so many artists directly off of there without having to meet them in person. It's actually rare that I meet somebody at a portfolio review and greenlight them into something. It's happened maybe, in 4 years, I've greenlit and published, fully paid, maybe 200 comics, titles, each, at least a graphic novel. Those are real gigs. At portfolio reviews, 3 of those came out of portfolio reviews. Most of them came out of either, Webtoon QGC platform, a lot of them came out of pitches, but whenever we needed talent for a project, a lot of them would come off of directly recruiting people online. Sometimes on Instagram, especially for slice of life content, and a lot of them off DeviantArt, where we can really browse through somebody's portfolio and see what they have. So, I mean, most people, I'm sure if you're not already uploading your content there, upload it, and it's pretty easy. Same sort of rule with the portfolio though. Don't keep everything up there if it's really old. Take down some stuff as you keep your best stuff up there. Don't use it as a repository for everything you've ever done. Have a personal server for that. Any other comments?